When a hot object is kept in contact with a cold object, they both exchange heat. The hot object gives away heat while the cold object absorbs heat. Thus, म्हणजे गरम वस्तूनं उष्णता दिली असतील तर थंड वस्तू त्याकडून उष्णता शोषून घेते. Thus, temperature of the hot object decreases while that of the cold object increases. This means that the kinetic energy of atoms in cold object goes on increasing while that in the hot object goes on decreasing. A time comes when the average kinetic energies of atoms in both objects become equal, which means that the temperature of both objects become equal. Now, the next concept is of specific heat. The specific heat of an object is the amount of heat required to increase the temperature of unit mass of that substance through 1 degree Celsius. म्हणजे एखाद्या पदार्थाला उष्णता दिल्यानंतर त्याचं तापमान 1 अंश सेल्सिअस तापमानानं जर वाढणार असेल तर त्या दिलेल्या उष्णतेला स्पेसिफिक हीट कॅपॅसिटी असं म्हणतात. दिस इज रिप्रेझेंटेड बाय द सिम्बॉल स्मॉल सी and its unit in SI is joule per kilogram degree Celsius, and in CGS system the unit is calorie per gram degree Celsius. Suppose Q is the amount of heat required to increase the temperature of an object of mass m and specific heat C from Ti to Tf. This amount depends on the mass of the specific heat of the object as well as on the increase in temperature and can be written as follows. That is Q, that is amount of heat absorbed, is equal to mass of that object into specific heat capacity of that object into final temperature minus initial temperature. That means delta T, change in temperature. Now, different substances have different specific heats. We are going to learn more about it in future classes. The specific heats of a few substances are given in the following table. One can notice the highest specific heat capacity is of hydrogen, but practically the usable items in the daily routine, these are like this, and in which the highest value is of water. Therefore, there is value of this water is 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius. This is the highest value, and therefore for cooling purpose we use the water because it absorbs the maximum heat energy. Now the next part is of calorimeter. Now the structure of calorimeter is shown here. Here this is a outer wooden blocks, outer vessel, in which the heat resistant ring or a substance is filled in this place. That means wood shellings may be placed here or foam sheets may be placed here, and inside that there is a inner vessel is placed. This inner vessel is generally made up of copper. Now in that vessel water is placed and a wooden or heat resistant lid is placed from the top surface, and it has 2 holes, one for thermometer and another is for the stirrer. In this closed system there isn't any chance of transfer of heat from this inside of the vessel to outside the vessel. The heat will be trapped in this region only. This is known as the calorimeter. Why this calorimeter is to be used? Now, if any hot object is placed in this water, if we know the initial temperature of water and if we notice the final temperature of water, if we know the mass of the calorimeter, if we know the mass of the hot object, then we can calculate the amount of water here present in this calorimeter, or we can also find out the final temperature of the mixture, etc. And for this purpose we are going to discuss this point. See here. Here water at a fixed temperature is placed inside the calorimeter. This means that the temperature of the inner vessel and that of the water in it are the same. When the hot object is placed in water, heat is exchanged between the hot object, water and the calorimeter. म्हणजे या ठिकाणी गरम वस्तू जी काही त्या ठिकाणी आपण त्यामध्ये आणून घातलेली असेल त्या गरम वस्तूकडून पाण्याला उष्णता मिळणार आहेच, त्याचबरोबर त्या कॅलरीमीटरचं जे भांडं आहे त्याला सुद्धा उष्णता मिळणार आहे. अँड ऑल थ्री फायनली रीच ॲट दी सेम टेम्परेचर. म्हणजे शेवटी सर्वांचं तापमान एक समान होणार आहे. Now, as the calorimeter is thermally insulated from the surroundings, the total heat lost by the hot object is equal to the total heat absorbed by the calorimeter and the water inside it. म्हणजे त्या कॅलरीमीटरमध्ये जे गरम वस्तू आपण बाहेरून आणून ठेवणार आहोत त्या वस्तूकडून मिळालेली उष्णता त्या कॅलरीमीटरला तर मिळणारच आहे आणि त्या पाण्याला सुद्धा मिळणार आहे. Similarly, if we put a cold object in the calorimeter, the cold object will receive the heat from the water and its temperature will increase, while the water and calorimeter will lose heat and their temperature will decrease. Suppose the mass of the inner vessel of the calorimeter is mc, its initial temperature is Ti, and the mass of the water in the calorimeter is mw. The temperature of the water will also be Ti, both the temperatures will be same. Suppose we place the object of mass of the object MO and temperature TO, that means temperature of the object TO in the calorimeter. If TO is higher than Ti, then the object will give away heat to the calorimeter and also to the water. Soon the temperature of all three will become the same. Let us call this final temperature as Tf. The total heat given away by the object, that is Qo, will be equal to the sum of the heat gained by the calorimeter and heat gained by the water. Therefore, we will write this like this: Qo, that is heat gained by the object, is equal to Qc, that is heat gained by the calorimeter, plus heat gained by the water. Now, as seen above, Qo, Qc and Qw depend on mass, specific heat capacity and change in temperature, that is delta T. If the specific heats of the material of calorimeter, water and the object are Cc, Cw and Co respectively, we can write the formula like this. Heat lost by the hot object, Q is equal to mass of the object into delta T into specific heat capacity of the object. Then heat gained by the water will be mass of the water into change in temperature of the water into specific heat capacity of water. Then heat gained by the calorimeter will be equal to mass of the calorimeter into change in temperature into specific heat capacity of the calorimeter. Now, putting these values in this equation number 4, we will get the final formula like this. We can measure all the masses and temperatures if we know the specific heats of the material of the calorimeter, that is copper, and that of water. We can calculate the value of the specific heat of the object using formula number 5. We will learn about this in more details in higher standards. Now, in this chapter, we are going to study how the numerical examples are solved. Suppose the masses of the calorimeter, the water in it, and the hot object made up of copper, which is put in the calorimeter, are the same. Then the initial temperature of the calorimeter and the water is 30 degrees Celsius and that of the hot object is 60 degrees Celsius. The specific heats of copper and water are respectively 0.09 calorie per gram degree Celsius and 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius. What will be the final temperature of water? Here given is, here mass of the water, mass of the object and mass of the calorimeter are same, considered as m. Ti, that is initial temperature, is of 30 degrees Celsius. Temperature of the hot object is 60 degrees Celsius, and then we have to find out the final temperature. Now, using formula, that is mass into specific heat capacity into delta T. Here, this is the heat lost by the hot object, and this is heat gained by water and heat gained by the calorimeter. Now, here mass is taken as a common factor from this, and then the mass which is present on the left hand side and mass present on the right hand side will get cancelled by each others, and then we will get 60 minus Tf is into 0.09 is equal to Tf minus 30 into 1.09. Then 60 into 0.09 plus this 30 into 1.09 is taken to the left hand side, and this minus Tf into 0.09 is taken to the right hand side, and Tf into 1.09 is taken as it is. Therefore, we will get finally T1 is equal to 32.29 degree Celsius. Therefore, final temperature will be 32.29 degree Celsius. Now, the effects of heat. In previous standards, we have studied two effects of heat on matter. Number one is expansion and contraction, and second is change of state. म्हणजे या ठिकाणी उष्णतेमुळे एखाद्या वस्तूचं आकारमान वाढतं, म्हणजे त्याचं प्रसरण होतं, किंवा त्या वस्तूचं आकुंचन होतं, किंवा दुसरी गोष्ट होते की त्यांच्या भौतिक स्थितीमध्ये बदल होतो. In this lesson, we are going to learn more about expansion. You will learn about changes of state of matter in higher standards. या ठिकाणी द्रव्याच्या अवस्था बदलणं हा जो काही अभ्यास आहे, हा अभ्यास आपण आणखी पुढच्या इयत्तांच्यामध्ये शिकणार आहोत. Now, expansion. When heat is given to any substance, its temperature increases and it expands. Its expansion depends on the increase in its temperature. Solid, liquids, gases all expand on receiving heat. सर्व पदार्थ उष्णता मिळाल्यानंतर प्रसरण पावतात, म्हणजे त्यांचं आकारमान वाढत असतं. Now we will further study expansion of solids. Here linear expansion is considered. Linear means एका सरळ रेषेमध्ये झालेलं एक्सपान्शन, म्हणजे लांबी वाढणं या स्वरूपामध्ये. द लिनियर एक्सपान्शन ऑफ सॉलिड इज द इन्क्रीज इन लेंथ ऑफ ए वायर or a rod of a solid due to increase in its temperature. When we increase the temperature of a rod of length L1 from T1 to T2, that means temperature from T1 to temperature to T2, its length becomes L2. The change in length is proportional to the original length, and the increase in temperature, that is delta T, is equal to T2 minus T1. म्हणजेच आधीची त्या वस्तूची जी लांबी असते तिच्या प्रमाणामध्ये आणि तापमानामध्ये जो बदल होतो इथं दाखवल्याप्रमाणे या तापमानातील बदलाशी तो समानुपाती असतो. Therefore, change in length is directly proportional to the original length into change in temperature. Therefore, it is considered like this: change in length is directly proportional to the original length into delta T, and this is the conversion of all these factors. That means L2 minus L1 is equal to, here the proportionality sign is removed out and the constant of proportionality lambda is taken into L1 into delta T. Now L2 will remain on the same side and L1 will change its side. Therefore, it will become like this: L2 is equal to L1 into 1 plus lambda delta T. Here lambda is the constant of proportionality and it is called the coefficient of linear expansion of the solid substance. हा सहगुणक असणार आहे आणि तो रेषीय पद्धतीनं झालेलं जे प्रसारण आहे त्याचं तो सहगुणक असणार आहे. The expansion coefficient of different substances are different. From the above formula, we can see that if we take two rods of different substances, both having the same length, and increase their temperatures by the same amount, the rod of the substance having higher expansion coefficient will expand more. Thus, the increase in its length will be larger. म्हणजे प्रत्येक पदार्थाची एक्सपान्शन कॅपॅसिटी वेगवेगळी असेल आणि त्याप्रमाणे त्या प्रत्येकाचं त्या रॉडची लांबी वाढण्याची पद्धत वेगळी असेल, त्याचं प्रमाण वेगळं असेल. फ्रॉम फॉर्म्युला 6 we can write the expansion coefficient as lambda is equal to L2 minus L1 divided by L1 into delta T. Thus, the expansion coefficient is the change in length of rod of unit length when its temperature is increased by 1 degree. From formula number 8, we can see that the unit of expansion coefficient is the inverse of the unit of temperature. That means 1 per degree Celsius. The expansion coefficients of some substances are given in the following table. Let us have a look on these values. Now, the aerial expansion of solids. म्हणजे क्षेत्रफळीय पद्धतीनं घन पदार्थांचं जे प्रसारण होतं त्याबद्दल आता आपण पाहू. सिमिलर टू दी लिनियर एक्सपान्शन, द एरिया ऑफ ए शीट ऑफ ए सॉलिड मटेरियल ऑल्सो इन्क्रीजेस ऑन हीटिंग. दिस इज कॉल्ड एरियल एक्सपान्शन ऑफ सॉलिड्स अँड दिस इज गिवन बाय फॉलोइंग फॉर्म्युला. A2 is equal to A1 into 1 into sigma delta T. Here delta T is the change in temperature and A1 and A2 are the initial and final areas of any sheet, and sigma is the coefficient of aerial expansion of the solid. Now, volumetric expansion of solids म्हणजे एखाद्या पदार्थाचा आकारमान किती प्रमाणात वाढतं या पद्धतीनं त्यांचं गणित करण्यासाठी आपल्याला ही सूत्र पाहिजे. Similar to a sheet, three-dimensional piece of solid expands on all sides when heated and its volume increases. This is called as volumetric expansion of a solid. This is given by the following formula. V2 is equal to V1 into 1 plus beta delta T. Here delta T is the change in temperature and V1 and V2 are the initial and final volumes of the solid. Beta is the volumetric expansion coefficient of the solid. मित्रांनो, रेल्वे रुळांच्या मध्ये आपल्याला काही फटी ठेवलेल्या याप्रमाणे दिसत असतात. त्याचं कारण असतं की रेल्वे जेव्हा या रुळावरून जात असते तेव्हा किंवा उन्हाळ्यामध्ये ज्या उष्णतेचा परिणाम यांच्यावर होतो यावेळेला ह्या रुळांची लांबी वाढत असते. या वाढलेल्या लांबीला जागा मिळावी यासाठी हे असे गॅप ठेवलेले असतात आणि याचाच रेल्वे जात असताना आपल्याला आवाज येत असतो की चाक याच्यावर आदळत जात असतं, त्यावेळेला खडखड खडखड असा आवाज येत असतो. तर अशा पद्धतीचे हे जे गॅप्स आहेत हे गॅप्स कशासाठी ठेवलेले असतात तर त्या रुळाचं जे एक्सपान्शन होणार आहे, त्यांचं जे प्रसरण होणार आहे त्याच्यासाठी ती जागा करून दिलेली असते. नाव एक्सपान्शन ऑफ लिक्विड्स. ए लिक्विड डज नॉट हॅव ए डेफिनेट शेप बट इट हॅज ए डेफिनेट व्हॉल्यूम. So, we can define a volumetric expansion coefficient for a liquid as follows. V2 is equal to V1 into 1 plus beta delta T. Here delta T is the change in temperature and V1 and V2 are the initial and final volumes of liquid. Beta is the volumetric expansion coefficient of the liquid. म्हणजे आपल्याला जर या गोष्टी माहिती असतील, तापमानातील बदल, आधीचं आकारमान हे जर माहिती असेल तर नंतर होणारं आकारमान किती असेल हे आपण या ठिकाणी शोधू शकतो. एक्सपान्शन ऑफ गॅसेस. वायूंचं होणारं प्रसरण. आता मुळातच एखाद्या वायूला विशिष्ट असं काही आकारमान असत नाही. गॅस डज नॉट इवन हॅव ए फिक्स्ड व्हॉल्यूम. गॅस एक्सपांड्स ऑन हिटिंग. इफ the gas is kept in a closed box, its volume cannot increase but its pressure increases. Now, using the formula of density is equal to mass divided by volume. explain what will be effect of heat on the gas kept in the closed bottle. Obviously, volume will start to increase. If the bottle is not closed but has a movable piston attached to its open end, जर त्याच्यावर आपण एक पिस्टन ठेवला तर त्या पिस्टनमुळं म्हणजे व्हॉल्यूम वाढायचा प्रयत्न व्हायला लागला. दिस इज द फिक्स्ड पिस्टन अँड दिस इज द मुवेबल पिस्टन. त्या मुवेबल पिस्टनमुळं देअरफॉर द एक्सपान्शन ऑफ ए गॅस इज मेजर्ड बाय कीपिंग इट्स प्रेशर कॉन्स्टंट. This volumetric expansion coefficient is called as constant pressure expansion coefficient and is given by following formula like this. V2 is equal to V1 into 1 plus beta delta T. Here delta T is the change in temperature and V1 and V2 are the initial and final volumes of the gas at a constant pressure when the movable piston is used. Beta is the constant pressure expansion coefficient of the gas. Thank you.